You start a conversation with AI asking for one thing. A few exchanges later, you're somehow discussing three completely different topics, and the AI's responses have gone from specific and helpful to generic and useless. Sound familiar? Today, we're talking about how to keep AI focused on what actually matters and what to do when you realize the conversation has completely lost the thread. Here's how it typically goes. You start with something clear and focused. Help me write a marketing email. Simple enough. AI understands and starts working. Then midway through, you think of something else. Oh, and analyze these metrics I'm looking at. And while you're at it, create a content calendar and suggest some headline variations. By the end, the AI is trying to do four different things at once. And what you actually get back is surface level, generic advice that doesn't help with any of them. This isn't you being demanding. This is a natural way conversations evolve. But with AI, it creates a very specific problem. Here's what's happening under the hood. When you started, your request was clear and took up a small, focused portion of AI's context window. That's the limited space where AI can see and work with information. But every time you add something new, a clarification, an extra request, more context, that information stacks up. The context window fills up. And here's the critical part. AI doesn't automatically decide this new thing is more important than the old thing. Everything competes equally for attention. Your original goal, write the marketing email, doesn't stay at the top of a priority list. It gets buried under everything that came after. The AI is now trying to address the proposal, the metrics, the calendar, and the headlines all at the same time with equal weight. None of them get done well because the focus has been diluted. Focus gets lost in three predictable ways. First is scope creep. That's when you keep adding new requests, expanding the project beyond what you originally intended. We just saw that with the marketing email example. Second is context accumulation. This is when too much information piles up. Some of it is still relevant, some of it outdated, some of it contradictory, and it becomes harder for the AI to distinguish what actually matters right now. Third is conflicting instructions. This happens when new requests directly contradict old ones, and the AI tries to honor both at the same time. Let's look at each of these more closely. Scope creep is while you're at it problem. You ask for a proposal, then you think, oh, while you're working on that, also add a pricing comparison. Then actually include some case studies too. Then, you know what? Throw in a competitor analysis. Now you're asking AI to draft a proposal, compare pricing, showcase case studies, and analyze competitors. Four completely different tasks, all in one conversation. The result? None of it is done well. The AI spreads its attention too thin. The proposal is generic. The pricing comparison is shallow. The case studies are vague. The competitor analysis misses key details. Each time you added something, you thought you were being efficient, but you were actually diluting focus. Context accumulation is more subtle. This happens when you're not adding new tasks, you're just providing more information. Imagine you're 10 exchanges into a conversation. Some of that context is still relevant. Details about your audience, constraints you set, examples you provided. Some of it is outdated, early ideas you've since abandoned, directions you decided not to pursue, and some of it is contradictory, instructions that conflict with the decisions you made later. All of this is sitting in the context window competing for space. The AI doesn't automatically know which pieces matter most. From its perspective, the instruction you gave 8 exchanges ago and the instruction you gave 1 exchange ago have equal standing. More information doesn't automatically mean better results. Sometimes it just means more noise. Conflicting instructions are the clearest example of this. Earlier in the conversation, you said keep it professional and formal. Later, you said make it friendly and conversational. The AI tries to honor both. What you get back feels inconsistent. Parts of it are stiff and formal, parts of it are casual and conversational, and none of it flows naturally because it's trying to be two opposing things at once. You changed your mind, which is fine, but the AI doesn't understand that the second instruction replaced the first. It sees both as active requirements. So, how do you know when focus has been lost? There are four warning signs. First, responses become generic. The output could apply to anyone, and it's no longer tailored to your specific context or situation. Second, AI ignores your constraints that you set earlier. Requirements you established at the beginning are suddenly forgotten or overlooked. Third, it asks for information you already provided. If the AI is requesting details you gave 3 exchanges ago, it's a sign the relevant context has been pushed out. Fourth, quality drops suddenly. The first few responses were strong, specific, and useful. Then, without any clear reason, the quality deteriorates. If you're seeing any of these, it's time to intervene. There's good news. You don't always have to start over. There are 3 techniques you can use to refocus the conversation without losing all the valuable context you built. Strategic reset. Explicitly restate your core goal to bring the conversation back to center. Context pruning. Remove information that's no longer relevant or useful. Constraint reminder. Re-emphasize critical requirements that must be honored. Think of these as tools in your toolkit. Let's look at how each one works. A strategic reset is the simplest technique. You're explicitly telling AI, here's what actually matters, everything else is secondary. The template is straightforward. Let's refocus. My main goal here is X. Everything else is secondary. Based on that priority, here's what I need. This works because it cuts through all the accumulated context and re-establishes hierarchy. Remember, in the AI's context window, everything has been competing equally. Your original goal from 10 exchanges ago has the same weight as the tangent you explored 3 exchanges ago. This statement resets that. It tells AI, no, these things are not equal. This one thing is priority. Orient everything around it. Context pruning is about being explicit about what to disregard. You want to remove outdated information. Details no longer reflect your current needs. Tangents that didn't pan out or lead to anywhere useful. Examples you're not using anymore in the final output. Early drafts that have been suspended by later, better versions. The key is being explicit. Don't assume AI will figure out what's still relevant. Tell it directly. Disregard the pricing comparison and case studies. We're not using those anymore. This frees up space in the context window for what actually matters. It's like cleaning out a cluttered workspace. You're removing the distractions so you can focus on the work. Sometimes refocusing works. Sometimes it's actually faster to start fresh. The question is, which situation are you in? Continue when you've built up valuable context that's still relevant, and the conversation just needs a small course correction. The AI understands your goal, the quality is good, and a gentle nudge will get you back on track. Start fresh when you've completely lost the thread, when every response misses the mark, when you're spending more time correcting than progressing, when the conversation has evolved so far from the original intent that the context isn't helping anymore. The decision comes down to this. Is the accumulated context an asset or a liability right now? You should continue when AI demonstrates clear understanding of what you're trying to achieve. The responses might need refinement, but they're in the right direction. Continue when you built up specific details, examples, or requirements that remain useful. This context is an asset. You don't want to lose it. Continue when the output quality is fundamentally good. It needs polish, not a complete overhaul. Continue when a small course correction will work. A gentle nudge or a strategic reset or a constraint reminder will get you back on track. In these cases, refocusing is the right move. You're preserving valuable work while tightening focus. Start fresh when every response constantly missed the mark. The AI just isn't a little off, it fundamentally doesn't understand what you need. Start fresh when you're spending more time correcting than progressing. If each exchange is just fixing mistakes from the last exchange, you're not moving forward. Start fresh when the direction has completely changed. Maybe the conversation started as a proposal, but evolved into a marketing strategy, and now the original context is just baggage. Start fresh when you can't remember what you asked 3 exchanges ago. If you've lost track, AI definitely has too. In these cases, trying to salvage the conversation is like trying to untangle a knotted rope. It's faster to just start with a clean line. The best strategy is preventing scope creep before it happens. The rule is simple. Each conversation equals one clear objective. If you have multiple goals, start multiple conversations. Don't try to cram proposal drafting, metric analysis, and calendar creation into a single thread. Each one is its own conversation. This feels less efficient at first, but I'm already here. Might as well ask this other thing too. That thinking is what creates this problem. Separate conversations create clear boundaries. They prevent scope creep because the scope is defined from the start. For complex work, break it into phases, with each phase being its own conversation. Conversation 1, research and outline. You're gathering information and structuring it. Conversation 2, based on the outline, you're taking that structure and building content. Conversation 3, edit and polish. You're refining what you built. Each conversation starts fresh with a clear, defined scope. You carry forward only what's needed, the outline from conversation 1, the draft from conversation 2, not the entire history of every tangent and iteration. This keeps each conversation focused and manageable, and it makes it easier to restart if one phase goes off track. You don't lose everything, just that one phase. When you need to refocus, here's a template you can use. Disregard what's no longer relevant. Focus only on core goal. Constraints, your must-haves. Do not include what to avoid. Let's see it in action. Disregard the pricing comparison and case studies. Focus only on drafting the proposal. Constraints, keep it under 2 pages and maintain a professional tone. Do not include competitor analysis. This template gives you 4 levers: what to remove, what to prioritize, what must be honored, and what must be avoided. It's direct, specific, and reestablishes control over what AI is focusing on. Here's the core insight. Context windows don't prioritize. Every piece of information competes equally for attention. Your job is to keep what matters front and center and cut what doesn't. This connects back to video 2 about context windows. AI can only see a limited amount of text at once, and it doesn't have a memory that persists beyond that window. Everything that matters needs to be present and clearly prioritized within that limited space. When you notice focus slipping, when the responses get generic, when quality drops, when the AI starts ignoring your constraints, that's your signal to step in. Refocus the conversation, prune what's not helping, or start fresh if the thread is completely lost. AI is a powerful tool, but it needs clear direction. Managing that focus is your responsibility. This is part of our Making AI Make Sense series. If this video helped you understand how to manage AI conversations more effectively, subscribe to keep building your understanding of how AI actually works. And if you need help applying these concepts in your business, figuring out how to integrate AI into your workflows without losing control of the process, let's talk. Visit eauclaireai.com to get in touch. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.